Hey guys, MCU Collector here with the next video in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Marvel Studios, the first 10 years line. Now this is the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe 10th anniversary, so we have a new line set up of premium figures for this. So the next one up is Thor the Dark World. So we've already seen the Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy. We've seen Pepper Potts, Iron Man Mark 22 Hot Rod, and the Mandarin Trevor Slattery. Next up is Thor and Sif. Now this 2-pack is based on Thor the Dark World, the movie. So that movie is actually one of the only films after starting with Iron Man 3 in Phase 2 that did not get its own line of Marvel Legends figures or get some kind of representation of the movie in 6-inch figure form. So now we finally have it, and it's going to be Sif and Thor. So really cool. So the packaging you see is very similar and the same to the Ronan the Accuser and the Iron Man 3-pack. Obviously this is just the 2-pack size. So very cool. We have the Marvel Studios, the first 10 years logo up at the top there. You can see it's Thor and Sif. The Legend Series logo here, Thor the Dark World logo there, and in the center we have the Mjolnir logo representing Thor. So here on the side we have some of the concept art for the movie. You can see Thor, and then we start to bleed into the Guardians of the Galaxy there. It's really cool, and it looks like this one is actually from Iron Man 3. So really cool how it's just going to all really come together. On the other side, we have some brief description of the movie. Here you can see 2013 is the release of Thor the Dark World. This is set number 5 in the series out of 10. The description reads, a legendary warrior, Sif, fights alongside Thor in the Marauders' war at the Battle of Vanaheim. To regain control of the 9 realms. To end the siege, Thor strikes down the giant rock monster. Together, Sif and Thor take the Marauders prisoner and bring them to Asgard to face justice. So pretty cool. Here on the back of the package, you can see we have the 5 because this is the 5th in the set. The Marvel Studios, the first 10 years logo. Legend Series logo there in the opposite corner. Thor the Dark World movie poster, and that's the spot varnish, so pretty cool. And then you can see here Thor and Sif. So the bios read, Thor, side by side with his childhood friend Sif, Thor strikes down the Marauders on Vanaheim, seeking to bring peace back to the 9 realms. Then for Sif, it reads, a longtime ally of Thor and a powerful Asgardian warrior, Sif battles with a double-bladed sword and a keen understanding of her enemies. So right away, based off of those 2 descriptions, you could tell that this 2-pack is going to be based on that first opening battle of the movie of Thor the Dark World, where it opens up and you could see Thor comes in and Sif is saying, I got this. And Thor says, is that why everything's on fire, right? So that's what this is going to be based off of. And after I open the figures, before we really get into it, I'm going to double check because I think this look may almost closely match to Age of Ultron. I think Age of Ultron is where he had the gold, and then Thor the Dark World he had silver. I'm going to double check that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we'll look at that. And then before we open this pack, I'm calling it right now. This Sif, this face sculpt, this digital print is the best Hasbro has released yet. And I know I gushed over the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow face print and the Evangeline Lilly Wasp face print. This one blows those 2 away as well. So this one is the best Hasbro has released. So just like the Mandarin Trevor Slattery was the best male face that they've come out with, Sif is the female. I'm calling it right now. I'm telling you. So really cool, and you can see the accessories that comes with the pack. So let's open this up and get right to it. And there is the UPC for everyone. All right, guys, here are Thor and Sif out of the package, looking amazing. But also you can see we have all of the MCU Thor movie figures that have been released, and there's quite a few of them. There are 8 different Thor figures in total, which is crazy because there was a time when we did not have enough Thor movie figures. There was a short, brief time, but there was a time where we just didn't have any. And the main reason is because Thor the Dark World didn't get any 6-inch figures released at all. There was a 3 3/4 inch movie line back when 3 3/4 inch was still pretty popular, but the 6-inch knit figures never were produced, which was unfortunate. But we finally have 2 now, so that's pretty cool. So we didn't have enough Thor figures. all we had were the 2 Walmart exclusives that were released. The helmeted one being for the first Thor movie, the unhelmeted one right behind him there being for the Avengers movie. Again, both Walmart exclusives, and then nothing until Avengers Age of Ultron, and it wasn't until after the movie that Hasbro released an Amazon exclusive 4-pack with Bruce Banner, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Thor. And that was an awesome figure and a very exciting time because we were getting a movie Thor. So I was excited, at least. And then Thor Ragnarok came out and changed the game on Thor figures completely, because we got 2 figures for that movie. Yes, they're almost identical figures, but we did get 2 figures, a helmeted version and an unhelmeted version. Accessory wise is a little bit different. So that really kicked it off. And then Avengers Infinity War, 2 more figures. So the 3-pack version that was a Toys R Us exclusive with Rocket and Team Groot, and then the Cole Obsidian Wave 2 Thor figure. So lots and lots of Thor figures. So we're going to actually go over each one real quickly. I'm just going to show it and talk about it for a quick second. I promise I'll try and be quick. Because some of you guys may not have seen some of these other figures. The newer ones, I'm sure you guys have. But we want to look at especially the 2 Walmart exclusive older ones. And then I'm definitely going to compare the Age of Ultron Amazon exclusive 4-pack excuse me, with this new Thor figure, because they share the same body mold, but there are some differences obviously in the paint and the color scheme, but the arms are going to be different as well. So we'll spend a little bit more time on that. So here was the first movie Thor figure that was released. Now this was the Walmart exclusive for the first movie. And it's not a bad figure. There's a lot of good sculpted detail into it, which was really nice. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm testing out kind of a new setup with lighting, so I know it's a little bit dark here. But what was really nice about this one is it had a nice dark wash over the armor for the arm. So that was really cool. The head sculpt looked pretty good, not terrible or anything, but not bad. So good figure. Next up was the one that was released for the Avengers movie. Now this is the same exact figure as the one I just showed you, except this one has the unhelmeted head, and I think that actually is a pretty good Chris Hemsworth look. I just didn't care for I don't care for the way the hair looks. Makes him look like kind of a surfer dude, beach bum kind of guy. I don't know. And then there was no wash in the chainmail armor for his arms, but pretty cool figure. And you can see the same Mjolnir. So all the Mjolnirs that we've gotten actually came from that first movie Thor figure. They haven't changed it up, but of course, obviously, Mjolnir doesn't change. And then we got Age of Ultron, but again, I'll wait for him so we can actually go over the 2 together. The first Thor Ragnarok one, this was the one that came in the Gladiator Build-A-Figure wave. And you could see that this one did use the digital face print, which wasn't much. It's basically just for the eyes. But this was a really cool figure. I really do like it because of this turquoise that's throughout. I really like that. Then next, they just released the same figure, but without the helmet and without that shin guard. And then this is probably regarded as the best Thor head that has been released so far, whereas I actually care more for the 2 Infinity War ones. This one is a very good one because of the coloring that's on it. That's why this one was so good. And then we had this one, which is, I actually did get this one first on this Thor, the Toys R Us exclusive 3-pack. This should be hitting the U.S. soon. I know it did show up in some Toys R Us stores throughout the country, not a lot. It was mainly, I think, Midwest and the East Coast. The West Coast did not get these whatsoever. I had somebody on Facebook offered to pick some of these up for people and pay cost plus shipping plus a little bit extra, tiny bit extra. Dude, I don't think dude was making any money. He may have made $2 off of buying these, but it was awesome that he did that. Really cool. A bunch of people gave him crap saying, "Oh, you're scalping, you're overcharging." When you break it down, he really wasn't. For cost, the shipping cost alone was like $13. So I paid a good price. I don't remember what exactly the price was, but I definitely have no complaints over it. So this one is either going to be my favorite or this one. Even though this one's definitely a little pale, this one is definitely a good one as well. So these are the 2 Infinity War ones. And I know this one is actually still hard to find because that whole entire wave hasn't hit retail all that much. So I know online is probably your best bet on some of those, which is crazy. But we'll go over the Thor figure a little bit. The highlight is definitely going to be the Sif figure. So if you have the Age of Ultron Thor, you can see that the head sculpts are the same, the bodies are the same. It's just these arms that are different. So what's really cool on that is the armored arms. I don't think these are the same as any of them. You know, I'm looking at even the Infinity War ones, and you could see that the pattern on the armor is different, whereas these are the lines are a lot deeper on this one versus even the Infinity War one, and the lines are a lot more clean and straight on this one compared to the old Walmart exclusive. So I want to say these arms are new. The rest of the figure is completely reused from this one here, but it is what it is. Now, this figure, I've always really liked it. It was my favorite Thor figure. The Infinity War Thor figures really pushed it down the list, but I thought this was a good one. The likeness, I thought, was just okay. Definitely not the best. His head actually looks a little small to me, but it was okay. Now, this one, with the digital face print, is an improvement. However, I don't think it is the best Chris Hemsworth look. I do see Chris Hemsworth in this one, but again, I don't think it's the best one. It's not Hasbro's best outing on the digital face print, but it is good. But they are the same head sculpt, so you could see the difference between the digital face print and non-digital face print. So it makes a huge difference in the figure. So really cool there. So let's look at this Thor figure. So the gold is really nice. I do think the gold is a little bit brighter than it should be. I don't think it should be quite that bright. Maybe that's just me. Let me see if I can get some extra lighting in here for you guys. But that's probably just me, but I don't know. It's pretty bright, and I don't think it was as bright like that in the movie. But we get some nice dark blue here on the skirt piece, and it actually goes all the way to the back of the figure. That looks good. And you can see that gold is painted throughout the figure. We got a little overspray red on that gauntlet piece there. Yeah, they went a little overboard on the red there. Not a big deal, but looks good. So the arm looks good. It's done in this dark gray. There's no wash or anything to it, but it does look good. And you can see the line work and the diamond plating is very clean. Straight lines. It looks very good. Yeah, so an awesome figure. And what I liked about this one, compared, the cape will help him stand, but the two older first ones, Walmart exclusives, the cape gets in the way and makes it hard for him to stand. So really cool. So we'll just go over articulation really quick because we've already seen this figure. Chances are you may have him already. And the head does not move. You can see he's on a ball joint, no hinge whatsoever, so the head's not going anywhere. The shoulders go all the way out and slightly up, so that's great movement there. You can't really get a full rotation because of the way his suit is right there. That shoulder piece comes out. You get an upper thigh cut, a deep double elbow, so that's very good. Diaphragm joint, there's no ab crunch, but you get a fair amount of motion in there. He goes back, and then you get a side-to-side pivot that works out really well. Legs go that far out, you get an upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, and it's basically an ugly knee because of the way this boot piece is. You could see that. Not bad. There's no boot swivel or anything like that, but foot hinges all the way down, hinges up slightly, and then you do get ankle pivot. So this is a very good Thor figure, but again, that's not the highlight of the pack. We look at Mjolnir. Now, one thing that's different with this Mjolnir is this one is really suffering from the marbleization you could see throughout. Now, I'm a fan. I don't mind it. This is very heavily done, though. And, you know, you can almost passes it off as if, you know, it's powering up with the lightning running through it or something. But I don't know. You get a little bit of paint, a little bit of wash on those edges. And then the handle is just brown. But same Mjolnir we've seen over and over again. Sif comes with a few more accessories. She comes with a little tiny shield that is just done in a gray color. And I don't see any kind of wash. It's got almost a bronze tint to it, but there's no added paint. I think if you would have just done a real quick wash over this thing, it would have looked really good, because there's good sculpted details in the shield. It's just the plain plastic color I'm just not the biggest fan of. It's very tiny, and then you can see she has some red straps on the inside that you'll be able to put on her arm. But yeah, it's good. It's tiny. And then she comes with 2 sword accessories. So this is her sword that you can use, and then it comes with another sword, which is the double-edged sword. So when it's together, it looks like this. And this, you can see in the package, it comes separated, and then it just ports in. You can see the hole, and then it just ports in like so to give you that double-edged, double-bladed sword. So really cool for Sif. So when we saw it in the package, I had mentioned that her face print was the best Hasbro has done. Look at that. Look how awesome that is. Let's see if we can get it to focus. And look at the eye. The green in her eyes comes out perfect. Her pupils, it's amazing. I have a picture up on Instagram. You could kind of see it a little bit more clear, but really good. They even put the mole there that the actress has, and I can't think of her name right now. But really cool. I may actually need another Sif figure, because she did appear in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I may need to get a second Sif figure. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do it. But this figure is awesome. It's gonna be all new sculpted parts to this. Now my only complaint is gonna be the feet. I hate these wedged feet, because that's gonna make it very difficult for her to stand. Because they're very short, and you really have to work them and everything. That is the only downfall to this figure, is trying to get her to stand. But you can in certain ways. Lots of good sculpted detail in her armor there, and then you could see there's actually some of that red in between some of those details. So really, really cool. I like that a lot. Some sculpted details on the back. This silver is just the I think it's just the color of the paint, or it might be painted over the red, but it does look very good. It makes it look like it's real metal. Same with the gauntlet pieces, and then there on the hand, shoulder pieces as well. Came out looking very good. And then here for her boots as well. And then the rest is just kind of a black color. Now this skirt piece is fairly pliable in the front, not so much in the back, so that might hinder the leg articulation a little bit. Her head is a little bit wobbly too, and I noticed that with several of these 10th anniversary figures. So you'll get some pivot in there. She can look all the way down, which is good. She's not really going to look up because her hair is going to get in the way. She can turn side to side. This shoulder piece is on her arm, so you can see there, you can't really take it off, but it's not going to get in the way of getting that shoulder up, because it's just going to kind of go right over there, so that's good. Single jointed elbow, of course, and you do get a swivel at the elbow, wrist swivels, and there is a hinge, but mine doesn't seem to want to hinge. But diaphragm joint, so she turns to the side, crunches forward a little bit, back a little bit more so, and then you can see it's all sculpted up throughout there as well. Legs go very far apart. There is an upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, and that's actually a pretty good knee, because you would think with some of these boots you almost get a flat piece, so that's actually done pretty nicely. No boot swivel or anything like that, but foot hinges down, foot hinges up, and it pivots, and it's those tiny wedge feet that make her hard to stand. So that's terrible. So her shield, you can wrap it around, you can kind of put her hand through it. It's gonna get kind of hard. She can hold it, or you can drop it like I just did. Her sword, you can fit in either hand nicely. Here for the double blade, oops, you just kind of have to work it into her hand, between her fingers, excuse me, and she can hold that double-bladed sword. Looking very good. As far as the shield, let me test something. I'm going to pop her hand out. The hands come out very easily. Let's try this. So you can get the shield on her arm that way by popping off the hand. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to get that hand around those straps of the shield. So very cool. So there is Sif and Thor. Awesome movie figures that I'm very happy to have. I'm worried that this will kind of be one that's not as high in demand as some of the other packs. I think the Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man, believe it or not, a lot of people missed out on the first Ant-Man, so they're going to want it. And then definitely the Yellow Jacket looks like an awesome figure. And then this one, is Sif going to be enough to really carry this 2-pack? And I don't know. It's an awesome figure and it should be able to. But with most collectors in mind, I don't know. But those are my thoughts. I could be absolutely wrong. But there are the figures. Great figures. If you're collecting the line, it's a must-have. If you're a Thor fan, it's a must-have. So there it is. So these retail for $49.99 and should be available pretty much everywhere. But we'll see as far as which stores will actually carry them in store versus online. But if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you guys liked the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now. And also, as always, I would like to thank you for watching.